So apparently, TikTok doesn't like the truth really, but or like if you try to speak the truth clearly. But I had tried twice to put up a video that was talking about the Judases, politicians in Washington on the left and the right. That I don't think many of them, even on the right, know that they're Judases, because they just have had passed down to them that blessed are those that bless Israel. So God was talking about Abraham. So if Abraham had been living during the time that Jesus walked the earth, Abraham would have recognized Jesus. I did several videos yesterday, very difficult videos, because I know how they will be received, and it would be received as it would just be received negatively, because people want to believe what everybody else tells them. One of the videos I did, though, was proving that so let me say this, in Deuteronomy, or maybe I don't have that one, but basically Deuteronomy talks about the way that you will know who the Messiah is when the Messiah comes, is that prophecy will have been proved true. Jesus Christ proved that to be true when he was hanging on the cross, because he recited Psalm 22, which talked about exactly what would happen to the Messiah. And that's what happened to Jesus. Yet the Pharisees didn't know that. They apparently didn't know the Old Testament very well. Probably because they were, too busy living the good life of them, being looked upon as such righteous people, when really they weren't all that righteous. They didn't even know their own text. Yeah, the last words that Jesus spoke. Everybody thinks that Jesus had a doubtful moment when he said, "Oh God, have you forsaken me?" No, he was reciting Psalm 22. And Psalm 22 talked about piercing his hands and his feet, talked about how they would sell his garments. So that was Psalms in Old Testament that was written before Jesus came. And then Jesus proved that to be true, which goes on in Deuteronomy, where God says that you will know who the true Messiah is, because prophecy from the Old Testament will be proved to be true. Yet what's been passed down all these years has been that, yeah, we stand with Israel, and I just don't stand with anybody except the Bible. I just don't. I don't stand with the denomination. And maybe that seems negative to people. I'm just Jesus's whole life was trying to save people from falling into the snares of this world, that many people themselves don't realize they're in the snares. I also was really ripping on Mike Johnson, because I think that what I dislike more than anything is people that use the Bible to promote themselves, to promote their candidacy, to promote, like people like him actually, and I believe in the Bible, I believe in Jesus. I do not believe that we should be a country that is, I think that the Christian values should stay in place, and that was able to happen for a long time until we allowed all this infiltration of Marxism into all the institutions of healthcare and education and into government. And that's destroyed many of the values, which has also destroyed America. But I certainly do not think that we should become so religious that we start demanding the worshiping of a certain religion. Is Mike Johnson saying that? No, but people like him, they make me nervous. They do, because they will use the Bible to their own advantage. I trust him in no way. And yet that would go against what Trump says, right? Oh, well. Oh, well. Oh, well. Again, I'm not going to change the way I look at things. Like, I've always looked at things through the biblical view. I just do, and because I think that's what we're supposed to do. And Judaism says that Jesus was the most damaging false prophet in history. Yet he's the very prophet, and he wasn't the prophet, he was the Messiah who went on to prove the Old Testament. That's how deceived people are. So this idea that you're blessed if you stand with Israel, God wasn't talking about a land. God was talking about those that are like Abraham. Abraham, even if his lineage, they went astray, right? It became more about being, a Pharisee. It became more about not knowing truly who God is. Abraham, 100% with his life, trusted God. In every affair of his life, trusted God. That is the reason God said they will bless you. He meant those that know him. He wasn't talking about a land. But this world is so screwed up, and our Congress and the House is so screwed up, that they put foreign countries ahead of America. Mike Johnson puts the number one on his list, we stand with Israel. Really? No, you stand with America. Or you stand with the Bible, but don't. God was not talking about that you will be blessed by blessing a land. No, he wasn't. He was talking about those that know who he is. So maybe that's why TikTok doesn't like the video. And it was draining to do the videos I did yesterday, trying to tie up how prophecy proved the Holocaust. And not because they were blessed, but because they turned from God. And that's what happens when you turn from God. And that is an uncomfortable truth. I get it. It is. But this lie that we've been told and it doesn't mean that everybody in Israel is damned. What I'm trying to say that the truth is the only thing that sets you free. So I don't care what presidents, former presidents, I don't care what they say. I care what Jesus said, okay? So if the truth is the only thing that will set you free, then that means sometimes that's that uncomfortable truth. So people like me would be seen as, I'm trying to divide, or I'm not standing with Israel. No, we've done this for decades, okay? And because of the leadership that has led and many Jews are Christian, okay? So they know God, they recognize. That's the key. Those that say that Jesus is a false prophet, why are we funding people that believe that? I don't know, maybe humanitarian if you want to say that, but it certainly shouldn't be put first at the top of the list, should it? No, Americans should be put first. But then this country, whoever's running it, never does put this country first. The Congress doesn't, the House doesn't. It's everything about every other country, and it's all about, taking our money to do it. So I'm fed up with all of them. There's nobody in Washington. I don't care what President Trump says. I just don't. I don't. It doesn't mean I don't support him. I'm kind of tired of the whole. I'm tired. I'm exhausted from it all. To try to get people to see the truth is impossible. People will continue to believe people that promote themselves by putting up Bible verse after Bible verse on their Twitter account, and every single time people fall for it. Mike Johnson using the Bible to promote himself, being all over the news, and everybody thinks and even, all these people that think he's going to he's not going to do anything except the same thing all of them do, because nobody gets in there that's for the American people. I only have one vote, and that's just for me personally, and that's for Jesus to save us, for God to save us, because nobody in Washington will do a damn thing except hurt America. And they won't even realize it, because they too, instead of knowing the Bible and knowing God, they just believe whatever's passed down to them. I'm done.